Hello, welcome to the second part of the discussion for the month of July 2023. And I'm still talking about productivity and prosperity, how the quality of work that you do will enhance the quality of your purse or the income that you get as a person. I know people have a lot of ideas about when making money and things like that, but remember what I talk about. This is not just about how to make money. I'm talking about principally the work that you do, whatever it is that you do, how you can improve the quality of what you do. And I've talked about two factors so far that will enhance the quality of work that a person does. I talk about spirituality, and I talk about the importance of right association and having right information. Now, I will go ahead and talk about two more in this second part before I wrap up the discussion. So if you like, you can say this is productivity and prosperity part 2B. Productivity and prosperity part 2B. So I'm talking about the importance of skill first, the importance of skill. And when I talk about skill here, I'm using it loosely to mean having the requisite knowledge, the know-how, the necessary skills, the qualifications, the certificate, the kind of training, the technical knowledge, the expertise that you need to be able to do that particular job. Now, why is skill important with regards to productivity? Now, if you pause, let's think about something. Have you noticed that people involved in low skill jobs are often paid the lowest in any setup, whether it's in a business or in a company, they have their own businesses or they are working for someone. People involved in low skill jobs are often paid the lowest, and in most cases, they are often among the poorest or they are often poor people. In other words, we talk about poverty among working people, and what we often call that is the working poor. That some people are poor because they are not working, but some people are working but they are still poor. So we call them the working poor. And why is that the case? Oftentimes it is because people are paid poorly. And when you think about poor wages, it is mostly a problem among low skilled workers. Now, this is not to demean or maybe talk down on any job that anybody is doing. One of these days, I'll be able to talk about maybe how to transition from just any job into a person's assignment in life. But I'm just talking generally speaking now that when it comes to earnings, to a large extent, people on the lower rung of the ladder are paid poorly because most of the time they are involved in jobs that mean they can be easily replaced. Let's talk about more practical examples. If you think about in an organization, in how many instances have you seen maybe the board of directors or the managers begging maybe a cleaner, a gate person, a receptionist not to leave their job? It's possible, but it's very rare. Why? Because you can easily replace those people. If the gate person, the driver, the messenger, the laundry operator, anybody that just does most of this manual job, if they say they are leaving the job, most likely you just replace them. Most likely the managers or the management will not be sweating about how to replace them. In fact, in most cases, you don't even need long notice period to replace them. Now, contrast that with, say, a top guy in the organization, maybe one of the managers, one of the guys contributing fantastic ideas, or somebody coming up with creative ideas about what the organization is doing, somebody contributing actively. It's not that the manager or the cleaner or these other guys are not contributing. I'm just talking about the quality of contribution. Now, maybe they have acquired training in different institutions, they have exposed themselves to the latest technology or latest way of doing that particular line of business. You see instances where companies, management will call these individuals and say, oh, can you give us more time? Maybe to find a replacement for you, or can we even maybe renegotiate the terms of your employment? Can you reconsider your maybe resignation? Do you want to stay a bit longer? And things like that. What is the difference? It is not just in the quality of persons. It's not just in the differences, physical differences between these individuals. It's in the quality of their output. It is in terms of what each one of these individuals is contributing. And that is ultimately what makes the difference in terms of their pay. Every job is important. We're not saying any job is not important, but nothing says you should remain in a low skill job. That is what I'm saying. That even if you start out in a low skill job, you should strive, you should continue to strive in order to acquire some skills, some qualifications, some maybe certifications that will, or learning even on the job. Even learning on the job. I know of a person that did not go to school, formally speaking, but they are doing very well in real estate. How? True, somebody just took them that, oh, I can teach you how to do this line of business, and they just took the person on their offer, and they began to learn how to trade, the technicalities of the job, and then they have gone to do great things for themselves. So that is what I'm talking about with regards to skill, and you can connect it to what I earlier said about information, that it is important to have tradable skills. It is important to actually know your way with regards to that particular job. It is important to be able to aspire to be the best on that job. It is important to keep improving oneself, to keep adding to the quality of the person as well as the quality of the output from the person. And this is the importance of skill. And if you read it in the Bible, you talked about how people with skills are separated. In the case of Joseph, for example, it wasn't just because he interpreted, he made the king to remember the dream, or he told the king about his dream. No, he was also able to interpret the dream and prefer solutions. And the king said, oh, can we find a man as wise, as discreet, a man as wise, as skillful, as intelligent, somebody that can come up with solution as yourself? That is what I'm talking about in relation to skill broadly defined in this context. It is about what a person brings to the table, how well they do their job. Somebody said, oh, they noticed a particular young person, they were always locking themselves indoor, learning things. They thought they were into some criminal activities until they got like a nice job, and then they changed their status. The importance of skill, that in this world, to a large extent, nothing will fall on your lap except inheritance. But even with inheritance, if you don't know how to invest, if you don't know how to manage it, you can squander everything. But if you've got quality skills, tradable skills, you will not struggle financially. You will not struggle to make ends meet. That is the importance of skill with regards to this. That people are roughly paid to the degree that they are skillful, or to the degree that they are hard to replace. So how quickly or how difficult is it to replace you in your job concerning what you do? How easy it is for people to find alternatives to you, and then they won't say, oh, we are not missing anything. And on a more personal note, you can begin to think about how this applies to you when you think about your qualification, your CV. That would you say, for example, your CV today is better than it was 5 years ago? And will your CV in 2 years' time, in 5 years' time, be better than what it is today? If it is not, don't be so surprised if there is no significant improvement in your income, in your earnings. That is what we are talking about. That money will not just be dropping on your laps because you are a child of God, because you are confessing. No, it is because you are bringing something extraordinary to the table. And somebody say, oh, skill, don't tell me about that. At least the Bible says the race is not to the swift, and favor is not to people of understanding, or bread to men of skill. I just say, stop there. The Bible says that you are correct, but that Bible does not say you should not be skillful. He said the race is not to the swift and all of those things. The same way he says you should trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Lean not use not. He doesn't say you should not have understanding, but don't rely on it. Don't think that is all you need to thrive in life. And it's the same thing with skill. So I can say, for every maybe caveat you want to, or for every objection, for every maybe exception you want to point out about skill, that, oh, maybe skill is not important, I can point to 10 counter examples to justify what I'm talking about with regards to skill. It is very important that you have this know-how with regards to what you do. And it's not difficult to cultivate skills or to improve your skills. If you think about what I've said before about information, about right association, this is why companies, for example, spend a lot on research and development, on training and retraining, on personnel development. They want people to bring their best to the job. So they want to equip you with all it takes, the latest ideas, the latest information, in order to be able to do the job as you are supposed to do it. And that is what will make you to stand out, and that is also what will determine the quality of your income. So it's difficult for some people to be able to negotiate their salaries, or once some people are actively just praying, let me just get any job, I'm fine with it. Whereas some people are able to negotiate their salaries, their job conditions. The difference is in terms of what the company knows that different individuals are bringing to the table. So the challenge is, why can't you not be the person that will bring that something extra to the table? And you can do it if you can commit to improving your skills or learning some skills that you know you are deficient in, particularly with regards to your job. In more practical terms, maybe somebody is in engineering, you know, there's an aspect of your job, maybe designing, that you're not very good at. How can you correct that? How can you learn that? How can you improve that? Somebody's into maybe fashion designing. You know, there's a particular style that you struggle with. How can you learn that? How can you improve on that? Or maybe you are a professional in terms of maybe the quality of services that you render, you know, something is not actually up to standard. How can you improve on that? And even if you are very good in one area, how can you keep improving? How can you maintain that standard? When you do that, there is no way you will not be successful. There is no way money will be a problem to you. I was listening to a documentary about one American food chain, and they were talking about how successful they have become. And among other things, they said the fact is that particular company, when it comes to their recipe and how they make their food, that it's difficult to replicate. So that is actually what makes them to stand out. The importance of skill. That when you stand out, when you are able to distinguish yourself, you offer something exceptional, there is no way you will struggle financially speaking. So that is the importance of skill as it relates to a person's prosperity or financial prosperity. Now quickly, I'll talk about one more and I'll wrap up for this month, and that is the importance of discipline and focus. Again, I'm putting two factors together because I believe they are closely connected. Focus and discipline both should go together. Why? Because the purpose of discipline is focus. Think about that. The purpose of discipline is focus. The reason why a person will not want to do some things is for them to be able to do some other things. If you think about it like that, the reason why a person is admonished to maybe desist from certain practices is to help them to conserve their energy on other things. That is why focus and discipline go together as far as I'm concerned. That a person's energy needs to be channeled towards something. You need to have an aim that you are targeting, something that you are working towards, in order to be able to block out something that does not help you, or block out other things that do not help towards the realization of that aim, of that target. So in the Bible, it says, whatever your hands find to do, do it with all your might. Do it very well. Give it your best shot, right? Have time for the things that will enhance your value. This is why I'm talking about the importance of focus and discipline. That discipline should ultimately help a person. The whole essence of being disciplined is to be able to channel your energy, the energy you will have wasted in some other things, or you will have invested or dissipated in some other things, into productive venture, into the work of your hand. That is what I'm talking about. So it's not enough to say, for example, maybe somebody is sleeping excessively, or they should not sleep too much. No, why? What if they are not sleeping, but they are still sleepy, right? They are not sleeping, they are not closing their eyes, but in terms of the job they are doing, or the time they have got on their hands, they are not using the time productively. So they are not sleeping. That's what I mean. They are not sleeping, their eyes are not closed, but they are sleepy. They are not doing anything meaningful with their hours. So they just while away the time. So this is why it is important to be able to focus our energy. So why is discipline important in relation to productivity? A young person said, oh, they've got this idea, they wanted to play a particular sport. And they just told one elderly person, and the elderly person looked at them and said, the way you're going, you will not make it in this sport. And the person was like, oh, why? What do you mean? He said, because you don't have the discipline that is needed to thrive in that particular field. And that young person took it on board, and they started exercising, started disciplining themselves, and in no time, the table turned and they became a celebrity and a hero in that particular sport. So this is what I'm talking about. The highly productive people are also highly disciplined people. Think about that. Highly productive people are highly disciplined people, because productivity will demand your time, the investment of your time, of your energy, of your resources. The highly productive people are highly disciplined people. So people that are not so productive, check very well. Almost anything goes with them. This is why successful people, rich people, most times they seem to have so many things on their plate. They seem to have so much to do. It is not just because they are successful that they are busy. No, it's because they are occupied productively that they become successful in the first instance. So it's not just about doing everything per se. It is about channeling your energy towards that particular thing that you're doing, investing time. Almost anything that you want to do in life requires one form of investment or the other, and most of the time is investment of time. People talk about, oh, having passive income and things like that. Before you create a platform that you'll be able to make the passive income, you also need to invest time. You need to invest your brain. You need to be able to study. You need to be able to find out information and actually act accordingly. All of these things require significant investment of a person's time. Now, Proverbs 14 in the Bible, Proverbs 14:23, very interesting. It says, in all labor there is profit. Now, if we stop there before we consider the other part of it, in all labor there is profit. It means in no labor there is no profit. In little labor there is little profit. In much labor there is much profit. Very simple. In all labor there is profit. And now says, but idle chatter, idle talk leads only to poverty. So idle talk, not working when you're supposed to work, leads to poverty, leads to scarcity, leads to lack. And remember, I'm talking about how productivity, the work of a person's hand, results in their financial success, if you like to call it like that. So in all labor there is profit. What that means is the more a person is giving to labor, the more profit they can see, the more money they can make. That also means that the more a person is giving to idle talk or not laboring, the more poverty they will see. Very simple. Even if they are giving, even if they are good people, even if they are fine Christians, even if they are serving God, in all labor there is profit. So you cannot substitute the blessing of maybe serving God, going to church or whatever, with what you're supposed to do in terms of the quality of the work of your hand. That is what we are talking about. So he said, in all labor there is profit, but idle talk. That means idle talk is the opposite of labor. Anything that a person does in place of labor, when they are supposed to be laboring, they are not working, they are not doing anything, they are wasting away their time or idling away their time. So you can think about it like this, that the more time a person has for productive work, the less time they will have for idle talk. And the reverse is also true. The more time people have for idle talk, the less time they will have for productive work. So idle talk is synonymous with indiscipline, if you like. So another way to read that particular verse, that Proverbs 14:23, is to say indiscipline results in mediocrity. Indiscipline results in poverty and failure. Idle talk is synonymous with indiscipline. So if idle talk leads to poverty, it means indiscipline brings poverty, indiscipline brings failure, indiscipline results in mediocre result, mediocrity. So this is why it is important that a person be given to productivity. A person is able to channel their energy and say, this job that I'm doing, I will give it my best. This phase of life that I am in, this stage I am in, I need to invest my time, maybe in going back to school, maybe in acquiring some qualifications, in associating with some people that will help me, that have the right information relating to what I want to do, or people that are already established in my field that will help me to climb up the ladder. But I will not just sit still and do nothing and expect manna to drop from heaven. No, it will not work like that. In all labor, there is profit. So, if you think about it like that, you see that productive work brings profiting. Productive work brings profiting, brings good returns. If you like to say it like that, good returns. It brings prosperity. So when you are able to do it like that, you are able to add value to yourself. You are able to bring quality to the work that you do. You are able to improve yourself as a person. You are even happy with yourself, with your output. You are happy with the quality of work that you do. And invariably, you will be happy with your finances, the money that you're making. That is what I mean. Remember what I said at the beginning. So this is what we are talking about in relation to the quality of work that we do. So it is important, as I wrap up this month, it is important that you be committed to improving your spirituality, improving your work with God, so that it affects your mentality, affects how you approach your work, improving your skill, consciously going after right information, being intentional about your association, and having the discipline to actually work, to actually put in the hard work, regardless of the job that you are doing. And that way, there is no way that your results will not amaze you and bring you positive returns. And of course, bring glory to the name of God rather than reproach or question mark to your faith in God. Now, this is a convenient point for me to draw the curtain for this month. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know this has inspired you. I know this has impacted you. This has blessed you. If it has, please do well, like it, share it with someone else. Let them be inspired by the same, and the effect will continue like that. If anyone has got questions about their work with God, I started by talking about spirituality. Someone doesn't know anything about that. Someone you want to find out how to maybe restore their relationship with God. You haven't got any relationship with Him. I'll be happy to support you in your journey in that regard. If you drop me an email, my email address is in the description box. I'll be happy to answer whatever question you may have with regards to that. Now, our next meeting is in August. We meet the third Friday of every month. So August 18, 2023. August 18, 2023. I'm talking about another very exciting and inspiring topic. I've called it opportunities, moments, and greatness. OMG, if you like, opportunities, moments, and greatness. It promises to be highly impactful. As always, thank you. God bless you and see you next time. Bye bye.